Good morning, Turfs Up Radio. Wayne Voles, Profits Unlimited, coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky. Yes, indeedy. Got a great show planned today. Phew, I tell you what, man, we have had a great start to a Monday morning. Hopefully, you guys have had a great start to your Monday morning as well. But looking forward to our show today. We got a special guest that we're going to get on here in about 10 minutes. Tim Wasmer, you guys have heard him before. He's been on my show in the past. Talk a little bit about their software that they have called My SnowScape, and it's good all year long. It's good all year long for your business, and we're going to get Tim on here in a little bit and talk to him about their product and how it can help you be better at your business. So we'll leave it at that for now. But want to find out how everybody's weekend went. Craig, I appreciate your text, man. Craig just shot me a text already, rocking and rolling in here. Let's see what he's got. Uh, yeah, I hear you. We'll talk about that, Craig. That's a good question. That's a good question for sure. I mean, how long's too long, right? So, but yeah, glad to know you guys are listening. Let me know you're listening today. As always, we're looking forward to some interaction with Tim and his product as well. So look forward to that. But man, had a great weekend. We got a great weather start off here. It's a little windy today, but not windy enough to where you can't be out treating lawns. We're out treating lawns. So I'm not trying to make a judgment call for anybody else in the industry, but for us, yeah, we're out treating lawns today, doing a little landscaping work. Got a little mowing going on. Actually, quite a bit of mowing going on. Our front of our week is heavily loaded with the amount of mowing that we do. And then we just back off of it as the week goes along. So that's how we do it. And that'd probably be a pretty good discussion for the profit circle, Daniel, actually. So make a little note of that if you would for me. So, but that's what's going on here. We're full strength, 100% up at it. Other than Katie's not here today. Katie, believe it or not, we haven't set the place on fire. Everything's everything's still going. We're okay. We miss you, though. I want you to know that we just miss your bubbly personality around here with us. So, but Katie will be back with us and be back in the office tomorrow. She was out Friday. She went up to Cleveland, Ohio, for a little fun in the sun. I don't know if they end up having snow showers or not. She never did tell me if they had snow showers. They were talking about a few snow showers going on. So I guess we'll hear about that when she gets back tomorrow. Didn't get too much, or I'm sure she just sent me some pictures of it. But hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a really, really good weekend. We got a couple great topics on things we're going to talk about today, one of which is something that we did over the weekend. So looking forward to sharing that with you guys, and also looking forward to Tim and talking to him about their software that they have. And I know you guys have enjoyed him being on my show in the past, and we actually had him in the Profit Circle with us. So we'll get him on here probably about 4 or 5 minutes. But man, I had a great weekend. Went to a baseball game. Our baseball team, our AAA affiliate to the Cincinnati Reds here, went to watch them play Saturday, and it was supposed to have been Thunder over Louisville, but they canceled the fireworks side of that about a week or so ago because of the flooding that we had going on. But got some good sun. Yeah. Corey, we have not set the place on fire yet without Katie. So we're still up and running. So we'll be glad to have her back. We'll be glad to have her back tomorrow with us for sure. But hopefully you did something fun this weekend. Like I said, I went to the baseball game Saturday, and then had some really good seafood Saturday night. I ain't gonna lie. Went to a place called Pier 17, and they've just got really good seafood there. And yay, Stephen, appreciate you listening with us too, my friend. Yeah, so Looks like hell, the gang's all here, man. So, but yeah, I went to my granddaughter's soccer game um, yesterday. That's always fun as it can be for 9 and 10 year olds rolling around. They're getting to the point though where they play decently. So it's different than going to watch 4 or 5 year olds play. You all have done that. We've done that. I've had 4 kids. I understand that side of it too. But yeah, you're getting to the point now where you got some players on the team, and it's kind of cool to go watch a play. So we're going to talk a little bit about that later on in my show. And other than that, shoot, got a little sunburn actually on my forehead. My forehead got a little sunburn. I forgot that you're supposed to wear glasses out in the sun, sunglasses out in the sun. And yeah, I could have used my sunglasses yesterday at the baseball game and at the soccer game, and I could have used them Saturday as well. But hey, we're off to a good week. We're going to have a great week this week at WLS, and hopefully you guys are off to a great start as well. Hopefully everybody showed up today, doing a good job out working, out in production, getting some things done. Hopefully you didn't have too many call outs today. But hey, we do what we got to do, right? I mean, we get it done and we go from there. So plan accordingly for your week, and all should be good. All should be good. We got a notice from BAM as well that I wanted to share with you guys too about weather and what potentially may be coming up. I don't have them on with me today. But we'll have Matt or Brett or one of those guys, Michael, maybe. We'll have somebody on Wednesday, I believe, with us, for a few minutes like they generally do on Wednesday or Friday. Monday's their Monday morning meeting show during my time, so that's why they normally don't hop on. But for you guys trying to plan your week accordingly, we did get a notice, and I think they actually put it out on Facebook too, a post that they're becoming increasingly concerned about severe weather potential late this week and beyond into the latter part of April with excessive rain and flooding threats again. So this weekend coming, which will be Easter weekend, they're just talking about more potential rain than initially was out there on the table, and possibly some impactful kind of rains, maybe some more flooding in different parts of the country. Predominantly, looks like on this chart that they put out, somewhere from Texas coming up through the Midwest and through about 60-70% of Kentucky and Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, a little bit of Minnesota and Wisconsin, so Iowa. So could have some significant impacts, they're saying, on the next couple weeks, basically, after we get, and it's going to start toward the end of this week. So that's where that's at. So, hey, let's take a short break, and we'll get Tim on here shortly, but we're going to do a short break here, and we'll be right back. Tim, how's World Trade?
Hey, Wayne.
Good deal, man. We got you. I think we're good. Buddy. You're looking good. Your modulation's good. And how's things in Michigan?
They're good. Yeah, turning the weather a little bit. Finally, seemed like we had some cooler weather a little bit longer than normal this year. But this past weekend was nice, and this week ahead is supposed to be good. So I think we've turned the corner past those 30-degree days.
Glad to hear that. We ours went on a little bit longer than normal as well. So as far as cold weather,
like a couple weeks longer than normal. It kind of felt like just those days in the 30s.
Yeah. Good deal, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you taking a few minutes and hopping on with me this morning and to talk to our listeners, about your product again. And for those of you that are,
thanks for having me.
Yeah, for those of you that are just hopping on with us, we've got Tim Wasmer, and Tim is in Michigan. I'll let him give you his background, here shortly and what they do. And I know a lot of you guys have heard him in the past here on my show, and he also did a thing for us in the Profit Circle about their software that they have. but don't be confused by the name, right, Tim? Is that fair?
Correct. Yeah, yeah. That's why I'm here in the spring. Because last time we talked in the fall, heading into winter,
Yeah,
for winter season. So now we're gearing up for spring and summer. So a little
good
different
deal.
conversation.
Yeah, so Tim and them basically have a software, and I'll go. I tell you what, Tim, why don't you just tell our listeners what you got, and then we'll go
Okay.
from there about it.
Yeah, yeah. So our software is SnowScape. It's software to help manage job sites, tracking hours, materials, routing, stuff like that. So we, like I said, I've been on in the fall before talking about how specifically it pertains to snow removal and plotting things out for snow plow routes and salting and all of that type of stuff. And we also have it set up for, for the spring and summer months as well. So for the green season, so for lawn mowing, you can use it for landscape installation. I use that, side of it for my company here in Michigan, as well as, fertilizing, irrigation, tree work, really, really, you name it, you can set it up to work for your company. So, it's, you plug your stuff in, you put your customers in, you can create routes, you can optimize them on there. You can see where your crew is in real time. We have a few new features that we've developed over the last 4 or 5 months since I last spoke to you, Wayne.
All right.
So happy to, kind of talk about those, but really just a game changer as far as keeping yourself organized in the field, especially for guys that aren't using a software. If you're using just Google Sheets or pen and paper, this is, that easy next step for you to kind of save yourself time, save yourself money, and keep yourself organized.
Right. And if you would, Tim, share your history in the lawn and landscaping business, that you're just not software developers, that said, hey,
Yep.
man, this would be great for the industry.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm a contractor. I'm not a software developer. My history, I've been in the industry for over 20 years, doing lawn mowing, landscape installation, snow removal. So at this point in my career, I have two businesses. One I have a partner with, which is, well, 3 businesses, 2 separate from SnowScape. So I do commercial snow removal in the winter, and I have a business partner for that. Same partner that I developed SnowScape with, and we do really strictly commercial snow removal in the winter. And then in the spring, summer, and fall, I have my own design and build firm. So we really 98% of what we do is landscape design and installation. So commercial, residential, front yards, backyards, really everything that goes into that. I do a little bit of landscape maintenance still. I've gotten out of that over the last handful of years. But I did that for 20 some years, 25 years of, cutting grass and being out there on the mower myself for, many, many years. And, I been through it all firsthand, in the field, out of the field, in the office, sales, development, all of that type of stuff.
So you got plenty of experience to put out the knowledge here in your software to help guys increase their own efficiencies is what it amounts to.
Yeah, and we saw, we saw needs in our own businesses, right? And that's what led us to designing SnowScape, and we let people use it, and we got a lot of positive feedback. So we're like, hey, let's get this thing out to the world. Let's let people experience it and help people, get over those humps that we were struggling with ourselves.
And you guys have had it available now, and you mentioned you've had some, and we'll talk about your updates too. I'll let you talk about that. But you mentioned that it's across the board, spring, summer, winter, fall services, number one. And then also in previous conversations with us, changes that you've came along. So obviously you listen to input from people that are using your software. And one thing now, from what I understand, Tim, also from last time, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is there you're not going to replace, if somebody's using like QuickBooks or if somebody's using some other type of of accounting software. Yours is not accounting software, correct? It's strictly.
Correct. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ours is
Explain the
just job
difference if
site
you
tracking.
would. Explain the difference if you
Yeah.
would of what you all do very
So
well.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, something like QuickBooks, like my business, I use QuickBooks Online and I use SnowScape. Those are the two things that I use. So it takes it takes over, any sort of tracking, right? So if you're when you put what Snowscape does is you're going to put all your customer information in, you put your jobs in, your services. If there's materials you want your crew to track when they're using them, you can put that stuff in. And then your crews in the field, whether it's yourself or your foreman or other crews, they're going to click through on an app on their phone or tablet, whatever mobile device they have in the truck with them. They're going to click through and they're going to record everything they do. Snowscape is going to keep digital record of all of that. It's going to put that in an easy to view and easy to access format for you. And then what I do every month or, whatever our billing cycle is, depending on the season, we can easily go into Snowscape. I can generate a report of what services have been rendered in the last 30 days or whatever date range I want. And then I just take that information, I put it into a bill in QuickBooks, and then I send that bill. So the billing, the tracking of finances, the bookkeeping side, every business needs a bookkeeping side, right? We at Snowscape, we aren't taking over that. We're pairing with a bookkeeping software for your operation so that it's just easier for you versus doing it all in the same place.
And I got you. So
yeah, that's kind of how we're thinking.
I got a text from a gentleman here. He said he loves your product. It was great for them over the winter. He's in Pennsylvania.
Awesome.
Doug.
Cool. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. Yeah. So good deal. Good deal. I think.
So use it in the summer now, depending what you do.
He said they've implemented it a little bit for the green side, so as well. So
cool, there you go.
Tell our listeners about the green side. What's the capability of the software as far as tracking? Are we tracking lawn applications? Are we tracking mulch? Or what are we actually using the software for in the summer?
Yeah, so you can do all of that. So for me, for example, I do installs. So how I set all of my jobs up is I put my customer in, I put a job sheet in, a description. If I have a design for the landscape, I can put that right into the app.
The picture?
So then when
for the crew?
Yep. For the crew. So I put multiple things right on there as, the site details for the crew. I could put description of, written instruction, materials, whatever I need, I put right in there. So then when my crew goes on site, they have all of that right on their phone. So they don't have to call me with questions. They don't have to look at that. So that works on the install side. And then they just track their hours. They punch into the job site, track what they do. I love getting the picture updates. So if it's a multiple day job, for example, like for right now, I have a crew that's doing a 2-week-long hardscape install. And every day they record what they did and they put pictures in of what was their progress. If we buried stuff underground, whether conduit, utilities, drainage, they'll take pictures and document that in Snowscape. Then I have that on record forever. So if something happens down the line, I can see, or just every day I can see it. So that's how I use it for install.
How much time does it take for your crew leader out on a job site and then the follow up to this, Tim, is then does the customer have a portal to see these pictures or is this strictly for your own in-house, use the pictures?
So how I set it up, and I always recommend people, is you set that up depending on the property. So when you log something, it will send an email to whatever email address you associate in Snowscape with that property. So if you want it just to be emailed to yourself, you can do that. If you don't want it to be emailed anywhere, you just don't put an email in. Or if you want the customer to get an emailed report every time they have service done at their property, then they will get an email report. So I set it up so my customers get this email. So every day, so if they happen to be out of town, if they happen to be working late, they get an email every day of what was done on site. Or in the situation of lawn mowing or fertilizing, they might not be home when you're there. So you can set that up that the customer can get an email report. Hey, we came, we cut your grass today, and we trimmed the bushes. And they'll get an email report with pictures and notes of what they did. As far as how long it takes the crew to record that in the field, a minute at most. For installs, I have my guys put more detail than, I would for like lawn mowing.
Right.
I have my guys on installs take 10 pictures at the end of the day, whereas lawn mowing, you might say take one picture.
Okay.
Just to kind of show that you were there. So the more detail you have your crew put in, the more time it takes, but it just takes as long as it takes them to snap a picture and write a note.
That would be really, I could see where that really be advantageous in the fall with leaves, because you
fall and spring.
Get something done, and 10 minutes after you've gone, it looks like you hadn't been there sometimes,
Yeah, we have a lot of that. Yeah. Like where people kind of, you'll bill them a week later and they say, what do you mean you came for my spring cleanup? Nothing's been done. You're like, well, here it is. It was done on this date. And and then it's not really, a dispute, but it's just,
it's something.
Well, hey, more debris fell. So
right.
Need another service then. Whatever the case is.
It goes back to those
things. So that's how it's set up.
Yeah, I always think it goes back to it's not our fault, but it is our problem.
Yeah. Yeah. It's no one's fault.
It's not anybody's fault, but we got to figure out. All right, hey, how are we going to make them understand that we were there? And with that documentation, that makes it really nice. Is there a? We got a question here from somebody. Let's see, Tim. And Tim's good to take questions, I'm sure, right? So.
Yeah, absolutely. Love the live feedback.
All right, let's see. It says, is there a way, and you'll understand this. It says, is there a way to make the notes shorter? I currently minimum of 5.
Yeah. So you can make notes not required. So then they can leave them or not leave them. If you make them required, then we do have the default setting to be 5 words at a minimum. So if you're requiring a note, they can't just type in. The reason for that is we don't want someone to just type in okay as their note, right? We want them to at least type a sentence if they're going to make the note. But you can make the note not required, then it's just optional. If they put notes in, they can, but if it's required, they can't go to the next step in the process without typing a note. If you make it optional, then they are able to go to the next step in the process.
And then what happens to the pictures and all that I've put in for ABC companies, lawn or landscape? Do I have a separate recording area within the software for, say, their landscape maintenance versus their snow pictures? In other words, if I go out and do a paver for somebody, commercially, is this all blended together, or are they separate accounts, if you will?
Yeah. So there's on the software and on the app, there's 2 seasons. So there's a green season, which there's an icon that's a leaf.
Right.
And then there's the snow season, which is an icon that's a snowflake. All you do is there's a toggle on the app and on the website as well. And you just select which season you want to be in. So if you have lawn mowing and, brick pavers that you did for a client in the spring and summer, that would be under the green season. So then when you go into your history, you just you filter by the green season, you can see all those services. And then if you go in the winter season, you can see everything you did for them for snow. So that way you're not having to sift through everything if there's overlap like that.
Right.
But yeah, you'll have access to that and you can search by date range, by customer, by service, by foreman, by route name, anything you want to, go into your job history and search any parameter you want to type in. You can do that. Just like, if you're searching an email, you could search by anyone, any name, address, phone number, whatever.
Is there is it a routing software as well? In other words, once I put my 10 stops in for the day or my customers in, does it route me for that day? Or is it just I pull a customer when I get there and then I do
Yeah.
my
So,
completed pictures and notes?
yep, you can do it either way, but that's a new feature we added. So we do have it now. There's two parts of this feature that we literally just launched last month. When the description you just had, you put your properties in, say there's going to be 20 stops on your Monday route. You put that in. If you want to manually order it, you can just drag and drop, put them in order. Or once you put them in, there's a button you can press that puts optimize. So you can put your starting address and your ending address, say it's your shop,
Okay.
for example, and then it will put, okay, I'm starting at the shop and I'm ending at the shop, but I have these 20 stops to do. It'll put them in order, whatever the fastest drive time is for those. So it's going to put it in geographical order. And then it's going to tell you, hey, this would be an hour and 10 minutes of driving, and you're going to cover 17.3 miles.
I gotcha.
And then you can change the order from there as well. So if you put them in order, but you actually, hey, my third property needs to be first. Well, I can manually do that and then save it. And then that would be in order for your crew out in the field.
Okay.
So we added that. And then we also added, when you're doing that, when you're creating the route, there's a map view now. So when you put that route in, whether you optimize it with the optimized tool that we have on there, or if you manually do it, you can view it in a map view. So then you can see on a map where they would be going, where the crews would be going.
I gotcha.
Which is just an extra added visual to help make that,
Now,
make that obvious. If there's an outlier or something, you'll go, why are we all the way over there? That
right.
doesn't make sense.
Now,
Like
as an administrator of say my company's using your software and I've got crew one that's doing landscape maintenance today. Can I go, can I look and see what they've completed for the day? Or is it strictly what they input as being completed?
Well, they have, if it has to be recorded in order to know that it's been completed.
And then you can look at it as an administrator to know that they've completed the job then.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can look as the administrator, you can look in real time to know where they are at. So there's an active routes view. Okay. So I can see where they are at geographically and if they have their location services enabled, I can see that, or I can just see what jobs on their route they've marked as complete. You're also able to give that permission. So you can see it as an admin. You can also give that permission to any other members of your company. So if you want, say your foreman isn't an admin, but you want your foreman to be able to see where everyone else is or what's been completed, you can give just that permission to be able to view active routes to just that specific foreman as well. Okay. So it's a permission you can give to certain people in your company, whether they're an admin or not, because we run into that lawn mowing, for example. I want my foreman to know, hey, I finished my route, but let me look and see where Joe is on route number 2. Oh, he's got 5 houses left. Let me see, I'll call him and see if, if he wants me to cut the last couple of houses and help him out.
I gotcha.
Or in snow removal, that happens even more.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I could see where that's definitely a big advantage.
You can do that right on your phone. You can be on the computer or on your phone to see what's been done. So you don't have to go back to the office to figure that out. You can just look right on your phone and say, hey, I want to view everyone's active routes. And it'll give you a list of what's been done and what hasn't been done for that route, for that crew.
Yeah. And we just got a text that says it's very easy to move sites from one route to the other if guys need help. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's how we made it, right? Like, again, back to your point that you asked me, I've been in the field. I know how many audibles you cause.
Yeah.
Every single day, every single snowstorm, every single day with mowing, with raining in the spring season. Yeah. The weather changes everything. Someone calls off for the day. There's so many things that change every single day, right? And we wanted it to be super easy to be able to move between routes, be able to see where each other are at, be able to help each other. That's how we design it that way because we do it that way.
Now, is it
Ourselves.
also something, Tim? And just thinking about the routing side of this for a second, when I put 20 lawns in for today that I'm going to do, well, does it
Mm-hmm.
save those same 20 for me for like next Monday? Or
Yeah, so
in
you
other
can
words, if I'm
you
running
how
a regular route each week,
mm-hmm.
on mowing or say I'm treating lawns, can I set those routes up and then pull up that route for that truck for that day or.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can save your routes however you want to. So if you want to say, crew one Monday route, crew one Tuesday route, crew one Wednesday route, or whatever, names you
Right.
use,
Uh-huh.
um, you can just save all those routes in there. And then the crew would click on that route when Monday comes around or when Tuesday comes around. Um, or again, if they don't finish their Monday route because they got rained out early, well, then Tuesday morning they come in and they finish their Monday route and then they go into their Tuesday route.
Okay.
So yeah, you save those, and you can change them as well, but very easy to change. But yes, how we do it is we save those routes, as basically pillars that they're going to do those things every day or every week,
Mm-hmm.
and it's set up that they can access them at any time.
I got you. Now, if I need some help today, let's say, right? And you come over and
Mhm.
help me do 3 of my jobs today. And now, do I physically, once I move them to like to your route to get some help, do they move back? Do I have to manually move them back to my route the next time around? Or how's that work?
If you switch them on a route, then yes. But what even easier and better is that if say I finish my route and you tell me that you need help on yours,
And I
I
just,
would just end my route and I would go on to your route
oh,
because
I
I can
see. So
access
you
your
can get
route on
on
the
to
app.
my route. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yep. So that way you don't have to, on the admin side, you don't have to actually move them and change them between routes. You can just access the other route and then it's going to record on there that I did it instead of you doing it, but it's still going to record that it got done.
Okay.
Um,
And
so
then is
that way
this
you don't have
stored
to actually change it.
and is there a limited number of accounts? In other words, can I put like 100 accounts in or 1,000 accounts or in my pictures that I take, how long are they stored and where are they stored? Are they stored on the cloud? Are they stored on my own phone or where's all this take place?
So there's no limit to number of accounts. The only limit that we have currently is the optimization tool. So when you're inputting routes, you can't put 1,000 properties in and have it route it, optimize it for you.
Okay.
We have a limit. I think it's 25 properties that it's going to optimize for you.
All
If
right.
you go over that number, it's going to give you a warning. Um, but you just won't be able to optimize it. So if you have a route that you do have 100 properties on, you can put 100 properties on a route. You're just going to have to manually order it versus optimizing it.
Okay.
And then as far as your next question is like, where is everything stored? It's stored within the app and which is, cloud backup basically. So it's not stored on your phone. It's not going to take any more data or storage space from your phone.
Right.
It's all going to be stored within the software. So as long as you have an account with the software, you will be able to access it and view it. So, and it's kept forever. So if you need to look back at something from 3 years ago,
I
as long as
remember,
you were
yeah,
using
you
SnowScape
talking
3 years
about that
ago,
with the snow side of it. That if you have a
yeah,
slip and fall that pops into your world 3 years from now, you've still got your documentation there.
exactly.
So,
Yep. So it keeps it forever for you, unless you delete your account. If you delete your account and cancel your account, then the data goes away. But as long as you keep your account, and I tell people, even if you're going to downgrade or something, and you're not going to use it, don't cancel it. We have a free mode or we have a free plan. So you can just downgrade to the free plan and that way your account still stays active and you don't have to pay for it if you're not using it, but it's still there and you don't lose all your data.
your data and all
So
still going. Okay. I got you.
Yeah.
And what's the
And then all
different?
your
What are
routes will
some
stay.
different plans that y'all offer on this? What how does somebody get
Yeah.
involved with using SnowScape?
Yeah. So our website is mysnowscape.com. So you can log right, or you go right to that website, mysnowscape.com, whether you're on your phone, tablet, computer, and then you can download and set up an account right there. It takes 30 seconds, maybe a minute to do. Our first plan is free. So anyone that's a solo operator, a one-man show, if you have one person that needs a login, then you're free. After that, you can add a user. So if you have, you and one other guy that logs stuff, or an office person or whatever, it's $11.99 per user. And then our next tier is up to 20 users, and that's $89 a month. So really, once you get past like 6 users, then you go to the next tier, which allows you up to 20 users, and that's $89 a month. And then it goes up from there, 100 users, 300 users for bigger
Well,
companies.
these are just, it sounds very affordable for somebody to implement and to track. And I can see this is pretty neat. So if I'm doing Miss Smith's mulch job or ABC's mulch, whatever, and I record in there that, what time I got there, what time I left, but that we used 184 3 cubic foot bags of a mulch, or 20 yards of hardwood, or whatever it was. I've got that documentation not only for the billing, but next year when I go back, I can pull that information up if I'm hearing you right? And know that, hey, this job required 20 yards of mulch or 65 bags or whatever, just to give you a good starting point.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a great use for it. And yes, that's correct. Another use for it, I'll take you another step further, which again, you can look at this in the snow side for salt or for mulch, is you look at the whole season and say, hey, how many yards of mulch did we install last season? Oh, we installed 520 yards. Maybe we should look at getting 300 yards bulk delivered to our shop to save, or, if we do it by the bag, hey, maybe if I have the place to do that, I can pre-order because I know, which will save you money. Or same with salt. Hey, we installed 300 tons of salt over all of our properties last year. Maybe we should consider bulk ordering up front, 200 or 250, depending on how you're set up with your supplier. Then you can save money that way as well when you know your numbers and you know your averages of how much you install over a season per property, et cetera. So yeah, that data is super valuable if you have it and can use it, which SnowScape gives it to you.
We got another text. Gentleman says he loves also the fact that it pulls the weather in at the time of the service into the documentation.
So. Yeah, and it automatically does that because I know, for example, like Yeti is one of our competitors. Not to talk badly, but but you have to, when you use Yeti, you have to manually put the weather conditions in. Well, what if you don't know them? Whereas ours pulls it based on your location. What is the weather at that moment? Is it snowing? Is it raining? Is it 34 degrees? Is it 60 degrees?
Yeah, that's nice. Just something else you don't have to do that is nice to have the documentation for. Absolutely.
Yep, exactly. So it pulls it. So, that happens with snow. Was it actively snowing? That happens with fertilizing. Hey, it was raining when we did the application. That's good to know.
Good.
And it does that for you.
Now with fertilizing, somebody that's going to use it as a fertilizer app, is it same way if I put my accounts in and I have them set up as, just let's take it as a very small company, day 1, truck 1, day 2, truck 1, day 3, truck 1. If I don't get some of those accomplished on the first day, it's just going to show those what is outstanding that didn't get completed because of rain or wind or whatever, or how do I keep track with what I've accomplished on that route?
So it's going to track what's been done, and then you will pick up with what wasn't done. So it's not going to necessarily make a note of that. It'll just it'll show in your history. It'll show in your last route, like, hey, you did 8 of 10 properties. So there's two, you'll just
Okay.
know, hey, those two, I didn't get those two done yesterday. So I need to pick back up where they were left off.
I got you.
Um,
Now, when I
so
mark
you
those
kind of,
complete the next day, do I move them to my Tuesday route, or do I just go back to Monday, and when I code them done, they put Tuesday's date on there, or is that
yeah, I do the latter. You can do it
okay?
either way, but
Do it,
it's
yeah,
easier the latter, because it's going to, whether it's recorded as a Tuesday route or route one, or that doesn't really matter. It's going to record when was it serviced, the date, the time, the weather conditions, like we just talked
correct,
about.
yes,
That's all going to be recorded in there. So it doesn't matter if you did your Monday lawns on a Thursday. It's going to record the date that they were done.
that they were done.
So
So if
versus
customer says
manually
when,
shifting your routes around.
I got you. So yeah, that makes sense. So if I want to look up Mike Smith, 123 Any Street, and see when we provided service for him, when I pull his specific account up, it's going to show me dates and times of service.
Yep. Yep.
So
Going back for whatever date range you want to search
whatever,
for. Yeah, it'll
yeah,
all be there for you,
that's
along with pictures and everything else.
good deal. So
Yeah.
you mentioned your new features. One is what your map view and your optimization on your routes.
Yeah. Yeah. Optimization and map view when you create a route, and then also a map view for the active route.
Okay.
So I kind of alluded to it, but when you're out, when you have crews out in the field, and you want to see where they are on a map in real time, you can log in on the website and go to active routes, and you can see where all of your crews are. So if they're logged into a property, but they're not at that property, you can see. If they've been at a property for an hour, you can see where they are, and you can view them on a map where they are. You can view on a map what jobs have been completed of their route and how many they still have to do. And you can see all of that in real time, not only in list view, but in map view. And then like I said, it geographically shows where they are as well.
I could see where
we got a lot of requests.
Yeah, I could see where that's really beneficial. Number one, but I can also see where this also will help a person, regardless of their company size, one truck operation or multi crew company. You can take your time in and time out on these jobs and help you bid jobs better. I mean, I could see where, because a lot of times we want to say, why did it take the crew so long? But when, but it's not always the crew's fault on why it took longer either. Hey, maybe the job was bid at 10 hours, but it's a 12-hour job, really. I mean, that could be the reality of it too. And I'm sure with your experience, you've seen some of that, Tim. I mean, I know I have with our company that, sometimes the salesperson misses the hours. It's not a crew problem. And by tracking these hours like that, it can help everybody be better. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And when you have averages too, when you're talking lawn mowing, for example.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, oh, hey, the Smith house, I bid that I thought it'd be a 20-minute cut. The crew was there for 35 minutes on average all season long. Okay. I underbid that.
Yeah. Exactly.
It wasn't just 1 week where it was wet and rainy and that's why they were slow, or,
right.
They were shorthanded. I can look at the average time spent on that job over the course of a whole season. And now that gives you very good data for next year.
Yeah. Contract renewals and the whole thing, isn't it? Absolutely. So
yeah. And knowing your numbers, really knowing your numbers by knowing your time, by, having a really good grasp on all that.
and that's my, I'm going to say weak point, but not weak point. That's the thing I'm very anal about when talking about is it's none of us are going to hit every job bid perfectly right. I mean, it's just not going to happen. I mean, there's too many variables, but if I can have a better handle on my processes that I get to my numbers with, I'm certainly got an advantage over my competitor. And it sounds like your old software does that for somebody it's almost a side benefit to it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not just a documenting it for the client that, hey, we started here, we stopped here. You know, the side benefit is it helps you know your numbers better.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I mean, the side
your
benefits.
bidding process better.
Exactly. There's so many side benefits of having something like this in place for your business. There's knowing in real time, not wasting your crew's time by texting them and asking, hey, where are you? What's going on? You can look. You don't have to bother them.
Yeah.
Knowing your numbers, like you just talked about, having the customer know when you were there, having documentation to prove if they call and say, hey, what, there's still leaves on my property. You didn't do my spring cleanup. Well, hey, when we were there last Tuesday, the property was perfect. There's so many ways that, you know, you use one of these things and it benefits you in one time. And the amount of money and time that just saved you that one time probably pays for a year worth of subscription.
How do you find, Tim, that you all, and maybe your users too, because I mean, you may be utilizing it different than a user may be utilizing it, but do, or how do you recommend that somebody sets it up? Do you recommend that once the job has been completed, that do you all notify all the customers, or is it just certain customers that, hey, your job's been completed? How do you all set that aspect of the software up within your own company?
I set it within my own company or all of
Yes.
my, all of my companies. I set it up that it emails the customer, because I have personally landed or retained many customers because of that.
Okay.
The transparency that you're giving customer, saying, this is when we were there, this is what was done, here's pictures of what was done.
Right.
People absolutely love that, because they don't have to be home to talk to the crew when they're there. They don't have to worry if their snow was plowed in the middle of the night. They don't have to worry if their leaves were cleaned up when they're out of town. All of those little worries that a customer has, they go away. And if you screw something up, if your crew screws something up, if they damage something, you put a documentation there, and it's just, you're transparent, right? It's being upfront, it's being transparent. And I've had so many customers that say, oh, wow, just that part alone, I want to work with you guys because I know what's getting done and when it's getting done, and I don't have to bother you.
Yeah, I could see where that is a great selling opportunity, for a benefit for the client,
Mm-hmm. And there's probably this last winter alone, probably 5 to 10 snow accounts that signed up with us because of that.
Yeah.
Because we put that in our contract that, hey, you're going to get a report every time it's serviced. They know that. We tell them that in the sales process, and they're like, awesome, love it, I want it, let's do it.
Yeah. Not to mention the awesome documentation that provides, yeah. If needed, it's hopefully you never need it, but if you do, it's there, so
yeah. The reality is you do need it. It always happens that, there's that one time of, how many companies that use us now that are like, oh, I used to just keep track of this in my head. Well, take that mental load off yourself, and being in your head. And when someone calls you 3 months from now and say, hey, did you cut my grass on this day? I think so. You're a Monday cut, probably. Well, no, I can look back and say, oh, no, it rained on Monday, so I did it on Tuesday.
Right. And not going through paper sheets to find out. Yeah.
Yep. It would take you 10 seconds. Type in the date, and see when you were there.
How's the summer side of this going for you guys with end users? Are they saying, hey, yeah, this works really great for snow, I'm implementing it? Or do you see more people using it for snow? I'm just from a customer's perspective. What are you guys seeing?
So all the feedback of people that use it in either season, it's the same. People love it. People are loving the live active route page that we added.
Yes.
Especially, again, for lawn mowing. I can know where my crew is. I can know hey, they've been logged into this property for 2 hours, but they're actually at the gas station down the road, or that type of stuff has
Uh,
gotten a ton of positive feedback from people. We have noticed, and I think you kind of alluded to it, people, maybe which is a branding thing on our end, the SnowScape. People are thinking about the snow and not the scape.
right.
So our users have gone down a tick from winter months. As we're getting into spring, I'd say we have about 10% less users than we did in the winter months. But that's why we're trying to promote that for the spring, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of benefit year round. And having, because another thing you can do on SnowScape is you can just have your guys track their hours. They can punch in and punch out on the app. Then you can generate their payroll hours and reports right there. Well, having the same software and app year round for your crew to use, it's one less thing you have to train people on when you switch seasons. It's one less thing you need to remember of where is what. Where are those hours? Were they on the spring? Were they on the winter? I don't know, because it's a different software. Just having uniformity across your company is big, in my opinion. And so we're really trying to get users to not just use it in the snow season and use it year round, because it works just as well no matter what season and what service you're providing. And that's been our feedback and our personal experience as well. So we're really trying to just get people to use it. There are companies that only plow snow and they don't do any lawn mowing. Well, yeah, then you have no use for it in the summer. But if you're someone that uses both and you use two different softwares for two different seasons,
Right.
to me, it seems a little bit silly.
Yeah. It seems like it's so easy to implement that it's why not use it year round, realistically.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's cheaper.
What is the learning curve? What's the learning curve for an operator, for somebody, hey, I'm one of your crew leads, for an example. What's my does it download onto my phone, or do I have to have a specific device that to use it on?
Downloads onto your phone. You don't even have a password to remember. It's just your username is your phone number, and you log in by putting your phone number in, and then it sends you one of those texts. That's your passcode to enter, which changes every time you log in. So you don't have to remember a passcode. You don't have to. All you need to know is your phone number. Then once you log in, you're in, and as the admin, the more work is on the admin to set up the routes and, optimize them and put them in order and name them and stuff like that. But
Right.
once that's there for the user in the field, it's as easy gets. You hit 3 buttons, you take pictures, you write notes, and record your service, and you submit it, and away you go. That's all you need to do. It takes you, 30 seconds.
Only because it sounds like you guys are just constantly making this better and better all the time. Can I ask you, I don't want to feel like I'm putting you on the spot, but is there,
Go for it, Wayne.
are you, okay. Are you looking down the road of potentially being able to use this as a way for me to send out my proposals?
That's on our radar. Yep, it's on our radar. What we're really trying to hammer, kind of our philosophy with this is whatever we do functionally, we want to get to the point where we feel elite at it. So right now, the job site tracking, adding in these features to improve the job site tracking, the map view, things of that nature.
Right.
We have a couple more things that we want to even improve upon more to, again, be one of the best job site tracking softwares out there. And then we kind of take in the next step, if that makes sense. So we like to be great at what we have in our niche, and then we start looking into adding things. Because yes, this goes on and on. The list of wish lists that we could take this and places we could go is infinite. So we don't want to cut ourselves too thin and just be okay at everything. We want to really hammer out kind of being in our lane and being the best in our lane, and then we can look at adding another lane to it.
Sure.
And that's one of those. One of the next things, back to that map thing, which goes into proposals is we want to add in a way within SnowScape where you can create your site maps for your jobs, and it would measure out the property and tell you square footage, perimeter, all of that type of stuff right on the software.
Right.
So then you can use that and say, hey, yeah, we're mulching 3,000 square feet. This is your bid. We're plowing 4,000 square feet. This is your bid. We're shoveling this. We're
Right.
cutting this. We're fertilizing this. We're irrigating this, right? If you have that information. So that's kind of the next step to make those site maps and give you those measurements. And then from there, that evolves into, hey, let's utilize that data that we now have in our software to create a bid, to know, hey, my mowing rate per 100 square feet is 25 cents. So this is 4,000 square feet. It's that, whatever the case.
Right.
Is that you can start really having those production rates and then utilize that to put a bid.
Good deal.
Bid out there. So
it's hard to believe we're an hour on this almost already, Tim. Man, it's time always flies, man. We talk about it. I'd love to get you maybe to talk about it again in a profit circle for us as well. So
we'd love to.
We can get that talked about a little bit. I think that's actually how we got Doug involved with you guys, and it sounds like the simplicity of it, and what I've looked at it and myself, it is it just, and that's what I want everybody to know. Listening to this here on Turfs Up or in a profit circle, when you see it there, is that the simplicity of use on this software seems to be much, much easier than a lot. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah. And that's our goal. That's what we feel like separates us, to be honest. And again, it's designed by two contractors. We've been through it, so we didn't want things to be hard for our guys in the field. We didn't want things that you're fumbling around with or don't understand. We wanted it to be easy and straightforward. And that's been our guiding compass through and through, from start all the way to today.
Now, it's crazy as this question's going to sound, and it's a simple answer for you. I know it is. To keep a rogue employee from going in and eliminating clients. If I enter the clients as an admin, can I just do like as a route manager, for an example, or can I have restrictions on what the restrictions are for like a crew lead or a route manager on what they can do within the software once they're logged in?
Yes, you can do that. And if you have a rogue employee that you terminated, you can delete them from your company so they can't get in anymore as well.
Okay.
So if you fire someone, you can take them off as a user and they no longer can get into your company.
I knew you had a answer for it. I just wanted to put it out there for everybody that was thinking it, but didn't ask us.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can remove terminated employees, and you can also change restrictions. So like I said, you can add some things. If they're just a regular foreman, not an admin, then they can't change anything. All they can do is record. So that's their limit. And then you can add things like seeing the active routes where other crews are and stuff like that. You can add those permissions to people as well.
Okay. And then
so you have some control on that.
And then if I've got a crew on job site doing a job and Miss Smith has a add-on, that's just something that within my notes, I can put, hey, Miss Smith had us add this there.
Yep.
That just becomes part of the client's notes.
Yep. Client's notes. You can take a picture. You can say, hey, this is the bush we trimmed. We charged her an extra $150. Okay. And you can put that right in the app, and, then let your office know, hey, we did that, and bill them an extra $150.
Good deal. All right, Tim. Well, hey, if you would have somebody give your contact info out, and we'll wrap this up for today.
Yeah. So again, our website is mysnowscape.com. The app itself is SnowScape. So you can find us in the Google App Store, as well as the Apple App Store. But going on to the website, www.mysnowscape.com, you can contact us right there if you have any questions. It's got our phone number, email addresses, and you can sign up, and it's free. So sign up for free, check it out, demo it, play around with it yourself, see if it could be a benefit for you. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We're happy to onboard you, walk you through it, answer any questions. If you have any feedback, like we've been talking about, areas that we can improve or features you want to see, let us know. But you can go right on the website, download it, contact us, email us, call us, text us, whatever works best for you. And we are here to help. And we want to see your business grow, see your profits grow, and see you be more organized. And that's why we made it. So we hope you enjoy, and we hope you can help us spread the word.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, Tim, thanks a lot for hopping on, and I'll touch base with you on getting on here again later date, and possibly doing something again with us in a profit circle if you do that. So
sounds like a plan, Wayne. I appreciate it as always. Appreciate your time. It's always a pleasure, and yeah, look forward to talking to you soon.
You too, my friend. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right. That is Tim Wasmer out of Michigan with their SnowScape. And like you said, a lot of people miss the scape side of that, the green industry side of that. And just the more and more I hear them talk about it and do it, I can just see the simplicity of the implementation of that. I know a lot of times it's the learning curve that holds somebody back. And so I don't want you guys to be held back from the learning curve of it. I know in the past, last fall, November, I think it was, when I was talking to Tim about their product, it's a great product. It really is. So certainly something to look at and consider for your company and see how you can use it. I know Doug sent us several texts in while Tim was on. I know that they utilize it within their snow and ice management business. And maybe Doug will get him in a profit circle as well to talk about how they've used it and whatnot. So, Doug, I'm kind of putting you on a spot there a little bit, buddy, but I'd like you to, do that, for our members in the profit circle as well. So, with that being said, we're going to wrap it up today. I didn't even get to my rest of my show, but that's okay. Tim Wasmer, they've got a great product up there. So, coming out of Michigan, but you can use their product anywhere. I mean, that's the reality of it. It's, like our products are not just for one location. The implementation can be used anywhere. So check them out at mysnowscape.com. See if it doesn't make sense for you. How can you go wrong when you get a free, solo operator? I mean, that's you. That's a lot of listeners. So, and I know what they're counting on. I know Tim's told me in the past that your company's going to grow. You're going to have, you're going to add it, and as you grow and you start that second truck or third truck or fourth truck or as you continue to scale your business, they know they're going to grow with you, and they've got the capability, like he said, to have, unlimited number of customers into the database, and they're just constantly improving it. So with that being said, we're going to wrap it up today here on Profit Time. Appreciate you guys listening. Be sure to reach out if you got any questions to us, and you can reach out to Tim and just go to their website. I'm sure they got a contact us page right there, a way to contact them. But again, it's mysnowscape.com. We'll see you guys Wednesday. And remember, profit is not a dirty word.